Hello, hello. Good evening to everybody out there in the cyber world, in the interwebs, all that good stuff. I am Scholar, and this is the second edition of the Oddball Show, a podcast on poetry, sports, entertainment, hip hop, pop culture, all that good stuff. Tonight we've got a very special guest with us, Mr. Kareem DeRoche, who we'll bring on shortly. He is the editor-in-chief and lead contributor to a website called aroundthebean.com. That's www.aroundthebean.com. It's a sports-themed website, and we'll get into that a little later on in the show. Right now, what we're going to do is kick it off to the homie, the elder statesman of the group, Mr. Chad Parento.
Elder statesman, really.
Something along those lines, yeah. And so last week we spoke about National Poetry Month, and we had a lot of poetry-themed dialogue going on. Chad's going to wrap that up for us real quick, and then we're going to move on to sports and hip-hop and all that good stuff. So, Chad, take it away, homeboy.
Thank you very much, Mr. JP, or I should call you Ivan, one of the masterminds behind JP Lime, and of course a tip of the hat to Chris Everson, and of course special guest Kareem DeRoche. Thank you, Prof.
Got you all in check.
And before I begin anything, I do want to give props to Jason, who I'll be mentioning later on, but is not with us tonight. But even before that, I do want to give props to our special guest from the last show, the first show, in fact, Didi Delgado. One of the things that we had brought up at the end of the show was Didi's impending operation and the GoFundMe page, which we recommended you go and donate, and we got a couple more people who donated afterwards. Stone Soup Poetry, which I head up every Monday night at the Out of the Blue Gallery in Cambridge, did a very successful fundraiser, and long story short, between her GoFundMe page and the one-night fundraiser, all her goals were met, as stated on the GoFundMe, which was very exciting. And more importantly, she had the procedure done a couple weeks ago, and she is recovering nicely. She almost tried to get out to Stone Soup or a couple of places, but she's still very, very, very tired. And who can blame her after the procedure? Yes.
What's Stone Soup? Where'd she get out to, or try to get out to?
Well, Stone Soup is, for those who missed show 1 or don't know who I am, it's a weekly poetry venue at Out of the Blue Art Gallery, which is now located at 541 Mass Ave. That's in Central Square proper. And that's every Monday night at 8 o'clock. Open mic sign-up time around 7:30. We have an open mic. Then we have the feature at 9. And sometimes we go even a little bit longer. With Didi's fundraiser, we actually went on till about 11 o'clock. That's how successful it was. And I want to give props to TJ Edson and the other people at the Out of the Blue for letting that happen. Probably our most successful night, not just of 2015, but since we first moved into that location back in November of 2014. And Didi, of course, was a fantastic guest regarding the safe places in poetry, the concept of safe places or safe spaces, regarding people feeling safe and not feeling like they're being harassed. And I will say this, it's an ongoing venue. It's an ongoing issue in venues. It's probably not going to be resolved anytime soon. I can tell you that Stone Soup, for anyone who wants to hear me rehash some of the troubles we've had in recent months, can actually visit the first show here at on YouTube and get the full story on that. I can tell you that the problems that Stone Soup was dealing with personally have been resolved as far as we know. The people who were behind the issues are not involved at Stone Soup anymore, which is upsetting, but ultimately it's probably for the best at this time. The person in question was not willing to submit an apology, and he was not willing to come to Stone Soup anymore. And that's what I've had to live with, and other people have questioned whether similar stances should be taken. It's not going to be ending anytime soon, but the whole idea of safe spaces and how, shouldn't you be challenged at a spoken word venue, which, as you had stated, Ivan, is not too unlike a rap battle, is going to be an ongoing discussion and an ongoing process. And probably in a thriving art scene in a city even as small as Boston, that's probably the best thing. As long as it's an ongoing discussion, everyone can be included. I suspect we'll be talking more about this in the future.
Absolutely.
I do want to give some props to the people who have been assembling the Massachusetts Poetry Festival, just to move on a little bit, and to give some people some things to look forward to, especially if you are visiting this podcast for the poetry part of it. We do actually have some involvement on one of our co-hosts for this show at Mass Poetry, in particular Jason Wright, who is he actually had a panel last year as part of Oddball magazine. Oddball actually had a full panel the first day of the Massachusetts Poetry Festival on a Friday, and this year he's actually been asked to speak as part of a panel this upcoming first weekend of May. The Poetry Festival is happening from May 1st to May 3rd, which is an exciting time, and there's a lot of guests, both out of state and local. I'll get to that in a second. But if people are interested, Oddball magazine, for those of you who don't know, is located at oddballmagazine.com. Oddballmagazine.com features poetry, prose, art, occasional music, and videos for on the artistic side. And Jason Wright definitely is an advocate for mental illness and for those who seek to cope with their mental illness through their writing, through their art, or what have you. So it's appropriate that not only was Oddball represented last year as part of the festival, but this year, if you have a chance to go to Salem, and Salem is a beautiful town, especially the center of it, and the Poetry Festival in Salem is amazing in that if you go to any of the poetry festivals this year in Boston, it's always kept to like one location, one library. With Salem, it's the whole damn town, and they do a really good job. Like, the center of town is very tight. You can easily get to the center by public transportation on the MBTA. You don't really need a car. To get anywhere. You don't need a car, and you don't need to walk very far to get to from one event to the other. There's a lot to do. And if anyone's interested in checking this out, you should definitely consider going on Saturday, which is May 2nd. And Jason Wright is going to be part of he's not the only one on this panel. He's joining a multitude of people for the panel group, which starts at 12:15 p.m. proper on Saturday afternoon and goes for 1:15, and it's called Capable Massachusetts, Poets with Disabilities. And already the capacity is listed as limited, so that's exciting to hear already. And if you don't mind, Ivan, I'll just give you a synopsis of what Jason's doing in this discussion.
No, I don't mind at all. I know he had an event this past weekend, and he's got a book out or something in the works. Go for it. I'd love for him to be here to talk about some of that. Jason, we miss you. What's up, buddy?
He's at the orchestra.
He's at the orchestra. He's at the opera.
The opera.
He's or in South, he's at the opera. But all right, that was bad.
Hey, Kareem, you ever been to an opera?
Not an opera. I can't really say that I have. I've heard of them, but it sounds like a good time.
I apologize to all my Southie friends in advance. But here's the scoop. And you can go to the Massachusetts Poetry Festival website for further information. And I'll send the link to Ivan, and Ivan can put it below the description of this video on the YouTube page later. But so this is a description for Capable Massachusetts Poets with Disabilities. Quote, most of the time, people with disabilities are spoken about. At Capable Massachusetts, they will be speaking out. Slam poetry legend Rick McIntyre and Oddball magazine founder Jason Wright will be joined by rising stars Hannah Brown and Lewis Morris. And for a generational artistic dialogue on disabilities visible and invisible, and the ongoing struggle, 25 years after the ADA, to build a future where they are not barriers to opportunity. And this is moderated by a poet and organizer, and I should also say an advocate for disabled people all throughout the Boston area, Colin Killick of the Disability Policy Consortium. And this is going to be an exciting one, if only for the fact that I know everyone on this panel for the first time ever. Rick McIntyre, for those of you who are in the poetry scene, slam or otherwise, you'll be no stranger to him. He's been a multiple Stone Soup and Cantab feature. He has been in the scene for decades, and he doesn't get out as much as we would like him to. He resides in Rhode Island, and this is a perfect opportunity to hear him talk extensively of his own struggles and help. And
Rhode Islander, you're saying?
He is a Rhode Islander now. He lived in Massachusetts for the longest time, and currently I think he's in the Providence area, and still kicking ass. And up until a while ago was hosting a poetry venue. And Jason Wright, of course, is no stranger to speaking on disability. You can just look at his Jagged Thoughts column every Tuesday afternoon at oddballmagazine.com. In fact, his new book, which Ivan was keen to remind me about, it's kind of sad he reminded me about it because I was actually in the audience this past Sunday in Plymouth when he debuted his book. The name of his book is titled A Letter to the World, and it's actually a collection of, among other things, past Jagged Thought columns, I believe a couple of new poems as well. It sports a beautiful cover by TJ Edson, who's no stranger to Oddball or JP Lime. Some of you who were on Twitter probably saw the Oddball magazine banner logo, and after Ivan had his way on it graphic art-wise, I told him we got tagged.
Hey, it happens. It happens. It happens. You know what's funny about that, and you said tagged, and I immediately thought, all right, well, what do you mean? Like I tagged you guys on Facebook? Like I wanted you to see it, and you meant like graffiti tagging, and you just said that you forgot Jason's book, your partner's book. You're the elder statesman, man. What can I say?
I didn't think tagged was a Generation X term or what have you. Jesus Christ.
Hey, I don't know, man. That's just how I took it. Maybe I'm on social media too much. Maybe it's my issue.
Oh God.
What about this book now?
Oh, well, the name of the book is A Letter to the World. It's actually a full-length collection, even though it's put out by Telltale Chapbooks, and it's available for $10. And I'm hoping to God it has an ISBN number and the whole work, so I'm hoping the publisher, Minion Ariel King, will get it on Amazon as soon as possible. It was literally printed last week, so I got a copy, and if you go to Stone Soups on Mondays, or even if you go to the Massachusetts Poetry Festival this coming May, you can probably grab a copy for him. Very likely you can do that. And it's an affordable collection and pretty beautifully put together. Minion has a knack for... Minion is the publisher of... Not only the publisher of Telltale Chapbooks, she's also the publisher of Hidden Charm Press, which puts out her quarterly Mojo. I think there's at least another press in there somewhere that she edits under her Collective Minion banner. And she has a knack of putting out really nice, really well put together books that don't cost a lot. That's probably at an expense to herself, so props to her.
Props.
Props. And of course, the other members of the group, Louis Reginald Morris, is a member of Flatline Poetry, which has been taking the Boston scene by storm, and also Hannah Brown, who is definitely the very definition of a rising star, had a fantastic Stone Soup feature, and not content to rest on her laurels on that alone. She has been featuring and reading everywhere else in the Boston scene. I think a couple of weeks ago she was preparing for the semifinals. I forget if the semifinals actually happened in the slam scene. I apologize to my slam friends for not knowing that, but point is she's been continuing to put out amazing work. And Colin Killick will probably be a Stone Soup feature in the future. Foreseeable? How soon a future? I'm not sure, but she's been doing a lot. He's been doing a lot to promote events and provide outlets for poets with a variety of disabilities, and helping those said poets as well. So this is going to be an exciting forum, and there's a lot of other great people in forums. I strongly advise you get to the Massachusetts Poetry website. Again, I'll send you the link, Ivan. You can put it down there. And and a plethora of stars too, both local and out of state. One of the most prominent people on the list for the out of states is Richard Blanco, who I actually saw read at the Museum of Fine Arts a little while ago.
Hey, can I say something?
Yeah.
Richard Blanco translates to Dick White. That is all.
Oh man.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I think my brain automatically rebooted for some reason. I totally don't remember what you just said. Anyway, Mr. Blanco is the fifth inaugural poet of the United States, having read at Obama's inauguration, and he's put out some amazing work. His speaking schedule is going to be on Saturday, May 2nd, and he's headlining along with Rita Dove, and Rita Dove is a former U.S. Poet Laureate, 1987 Pulitzer Prize winner. Fantastic work. I'll probably be sharing some of it on the Stone Soup Facebook page. She's been around for a long time, and so long that back when I was in college in the 90s, some of my friends were actually writing term papers, thesis papers, just based on like a single poem of hers. She puts out a lot of really dense but very easily accessible work. It's going to be very exciting. But if you want an introduction to the Massachusetts poetry scene, for those of you, if you feel like coming out for a good coming out for this and seeing what's what, I would definitely come out for speaker Reggie Gibson. Reggie Gibson is someone who you don't get to hear as much from anymore, but definitely is one of those superstars. He's showing up in places like Poetry Magazine. He's been on National Public Radio, and I think he recently featured at the Poetry Festival celebration at Copley Square Library. Has done, and he's I believe he's one of the speakers on the State of Poetry, which I believe is also taking place on on Saturday. That could be completely wrong, but I am currently spamming on the website. What's that?
We will send the details out.
We will send the details, and we'll send out all the information of where you can grab this stuff. And Reggie Gibson is a fantastic performer and a fantastic speaker. As I said, you don't get to hear him as much anymore. This is a perfect opportunity. Last year, I got to see my hero, Philip Levine, who is considered to be like the working class poet hero. I should say was, because he passed away just a few months ago, and it was a thrill to get to see him read. It was actually my first and last time seeing him read. I had blown opportunities to see him read in Boston. This is the last chance I was going to get, and it was definitely a memorable reading. So you're going to see at least one thing you like, even if you're not the biggest fan of poetry. It is worth seeing, and it's worth seeing all the younger people and the smaller name poets organize these panels. What was that?
Sorry.
Thought you were doing a drum beat. Thought you were doing a drum beat to spice up my flavorless dialogue.
My apologies. That was me muting my mic to clear my throat and clicking on it twice, so I muted it. Real quick, so. My apologies. Sorry about that. Oh man.
So it's interesting beatbox concept art. I think that's all I got right now. I wish I could have bounced more off of Jason, but Jason, mad props, and maybe if we're lucky, we'll be able to do an extra show before the festival happens. I know I haven't talked about that with any of my co-hosts, but it's a hope, a fervent prayer, and stay tuned for that, if only so they can slap me down for having such a crazy idea.
Oh, we'll figure something out. Hey, maybe next time Jason will join us. You know, he pushed for the record, everybody out there on the internet, including Jason.
Wow, I'm gonna put him on blast.
Jason pushed to have this podcast at this very specific time.
It's good that he did that.
Homeboy's busy. Homeboy, hey, we're making it happen. We're about to get into the Celtics and how BS that game was. Not because the Cavs aren't a better team, but because the Cavaliers are good enough to win without the refs handing them every single game-changing, momentum-killing call imaginable. We're about to get into that with Kareem DeRoche. We're going to talk a little hip-hop very soon. But, Jason, we'd love for you to join us at some point. Talk a little poetry, a little hip-hop.
And we thank him for doing this, because doing a show like this is, even if it's once a month or twice a month, is a lot of discipline, and one of us has to set the fire on the rest of our asses. So so it's good that he did that, even if he pulled a magic trick at the end.
You're being very diplomatic, and I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. I'm joshing you, so to speak. I'm sure terminology is familiar to you. Being the
diplomacy comes with age, sir.
Yeah,
diplomacy comes with age.
But anything else on the National Poetry Month, Mr. Poet for Hire? I know you've been writing poetry every day for National Poetry Month, no?
There is the National Poetry Writing Month Challenge, and
Yeah.
maybe I should give you a link to my blog where I've been trying to do that. The
Yes.
trick is to write a poem a day for 30 days. That's what they call National Poetry Writing Month,
There you go.
or NaPoWriMo. So some people are into it in private blogs. I've been doing this since 2005, since I think it was Maureen Thorson first came up with the idea and actually had a website where everyone could convene and share their blogs. And since then it's expanded to an entire website, which actually has writing prompts and links every day, which I haven't had a chance to get to because I'm too busy trying to freaking write every day. I'm at least 6 poems behind, and I'm hoping this weekend to actually catch up.
Nice. Well, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely send that. Definitely send those details so we can share your efforts with everybody. I've read some of them. I like them. I like what you do.
I appreciate it. It's not easy to write every day, and my own personal challenge to myself. Other people have certain challenges that they do. Some people say I'm going to write enough poems to put out a chapbook. My challenge is to actually write 30 poems and not break what I call the EHG, which is the emergency haiku glass. No 575.
Emergency haiku.
That's funny.
No 575. No cheats.
That's funny. I'm glad you said that, because every time I'm asked to do something poetically, I immediately turn to a haiku because
So do
it's
I.
easy.
So do I.
That's awesome. 575. Gotta love our haikus.
I'll cheat sometimes and put in a Tonka, which is a 57577. But I haven't even had the inspiration to do one of those. It's all been long stuff, so I've been giving myself a headache.
Okay,
Chad, how come you don't publish your own stuff very much on Oddball, do you?
I don't. Well, I'm an editor, and I know that my schedule is such because of my job and because of my commitments on the outside. I could not trust myself to put out a long form in the way that Jason does. I can't do what Jason does and what Andrew does and what James Van Looy does. Those are the poet columnists. And a little semi-spoiler, we might actually be adding a fourth to the list. For a while, I actually did a humor column where I was doing the limericks with George Panagopoulos, who's a fantastic cartoonist and illustrator whose work doesn't show up in Oddball enough. Maybe one day when both of our schedules are a little lighter, we'll be able to reunite again. We used to call our column the last-ish word because we would pick a column that's been talked about in the news, and we would kick the dead horse one more time, and sometimes the results were hilarious.
Oh man.
So hopefully it'll happen again. Hopefully you can actually see a link on my website too of the last-ish word. It may come back, it may not, but George still contributes, so that's good enough for me.
There you go. Well, check it out. I want to introduce Mr. Kareem DeRoche, who's been waiting patiently. I want to get the sports the sports segment of the podcast going here. Kareem, Rain Man, what up?
Yes. What's going on, everybody?
Oh, we're good, man. We're good. First of all, thanks for joining us today. Thank you for coming on the show and waxing poetic on some sports and some NBA, some NHL, all that good stuff with us. I want you to talk to the interwebs out there about aroundthebean.com and just let everybody know what it's all about, what the theme behind it is. Do what you do. What's up?
Yeah, aroundthebean.com, of course. Just a basic website. In this case, it's a sports website. What we do is give it to you straight and give it to you raw. It's pretty much just direct blogs. I blog about whatever I'm feeling at the moment, whatever comes to mind in regards to sports, and we give it to you from a Boston point of appeal. A lot of different sites do speak, and when they speak, they're talking from their point of view. In our case, we just give it to you real. We give it to you immediately. And we encourage people, of course, to get on the site and comment if you want. We push it on Twitter. We try to push it everywhere we can. We try to stay as consistent as possible as far as the posts go. But it's just a matter of seeing what's going on in the sports world and talking about it. And it's not just sports. It's really about anything that comes to mind. It's a blog. I'd say it's more of like a blog that's a site. It's Around the Bean. It's just really about staying real with it and talking about what we feel in sports.
Now, is it loosely based on the ESPN show Around the Horn?
I'd say, well, a lot of
Maybe
people.
at one point in its infancy or something like that.
Exactly. Really, the site itself was born off of me constantly battling with my friends on a daily basis. We would have different sports arguments, and of course, one ongoing argument that we still have is the consistency of Danny Ainge and whether or not he can draft people correctly.
Oh, there you go. That's a hell of a segue.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, I don't want to talk about that right now. Of course,
I kind of do, though. I kind of do. But go ahead, finish your point.
Yeah, but of course, believe me, I will give Danny Ainge his props right now. But it was really born, I'd say, off of Around the Horn. Like initially, I was watching Around the Horn, and mind you, this is when Around the Horn was in its infancy.
Right.
And they were talking about national topics. This is back when the Celtics sucked, of course. The Patriots were getting hated every single day.
Yeah,
in the
that's
media.
what we call the Patriots the Patsies. Remember that?
Exactly.
Yeah,
It was a point in time, in other words, when Boston sports wasn't really doing very well in the national limelight. So we wanted something where we were talking to each other about the things that actually mattered to us, and things. Once I threw one topic out, I would have like 5 or 6 friends that would just post different things, and we would go at it for hours and hours, and eventually we just started to say, hey, why don't we get a website and post this stuff online? Like it came to the point where we were doing battle blogs. Like one of my friends would post something, I would post something back in a response and a retort, because everybody comes from different backgrounds, of course, and we all have different states of mind on it. Of course, like
and
in my case, everybody's passionate about stuff. Of course, one example is with me. I love all my Boston sports teams. I do not like the Boston Bruins. I mean, it's a well-known fact for me.
I want you to talk.
Oh yeah. Hey, I am a Montreal Canadiens fan, okay?
Hold on. I need another boo from Prof right now.
I don't even like hockey.
Yeah, see, there you go. See, and believe me, I will extrapolate on what he just said. 'Cause the truth is, all right, most Boston fans don't like hockey. You guys only like hockey because your team.
Whoa! I think that's crazy talk. Everybody I grew up with. I'm like the only person I grew up with that does not like hockey. Doesn't make sense that I don't like hockey.
Well, I'm telling you, one thing, people always do ask me that question as far as why I am a Canadiens fan. Okay, I hear Scholar laughing in the background. Okay,
for everybody out there, Kareem is like born and bred Boston. He's a Celtics fan. He's a Pats fan.
He's throwing up a 3 in his picture right now.
Yo, listen, I am so Boston, and I swear, people listening, okay, you guys might not want to admit it, but I will bring it. Let me take you back in time, okay?
Take us back.
You want me to do this? All right, you know what? Let's do this. Let's get these things on the table right now. Let me take you back in time, all right? Prior to the 2009-2010 season, okay, which is when you guys had your epic, 0-3. Turning into a, 0-3. Well, you guys were up 3-0, and then all of a sudden you lost. Okay.
Yeah.
Prior to that, all right, there weren't really many people walking around repping Bruins. Okay, let's just keep it real, guys. Okay. The reason why I am a Montreal Canadiens fan, I'll bring you all the way, back to, in the early '90s. Like the first hockey game I ever watched. I mean, of course, my father is a diehard Canadiens fan.
And that's what. How does that? First of all, he's calling all the Bruins fans out there.
Oh yeah, I'm calling y'all out.
He's calling y'all out big time. He's pulling your card right now, Bruins fans.
That is for certain. And let me tell you something straight up. Everybody that knows me knows I call most Bruins fans bandwagoners. I do have respect for a few.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. That I have known for a long time, that have repped it and thrown that bee in my face. Okay, since I was a young boy.
Like Professor, right?
Hey, of course. But I'm telling you, early on, all right, when I was walking these streets and I was loving the Canadiens, every time I would mention the Boston Bruins fans would tell me to shut the hell up. Okay, they didn't want to have anything to do with their team. They hated their team, and you know what? They did have a good reason to do so, because the management and the ownership was awful. Okay, you guys were, trading away good players. I mean, if you guys don't recall, okay, Ray Bourque had to escape, okay, just to actually get something, and get himself a win. like off of your team. Like
Yeah. No,
people
I
did not
I hear
like
you.
the Bruins. Okay, the Bruins were not only like, of course, the Patriots were a team that didn't really win much, but
Right.
the Patriots
But
had
there
the
was some
heart of
well, you know what with the Pats they had like
yeah.
every 10 years they had a Super Bowl like appearance. So, you just kind of rode with them. They suck. It's football. It's, fun to watch. Every
Which
once
is
in a while
true.
we had like a good play, like I remember John Stevens was a good running back, Steve Grogan and
Yeah,
Tony
Steve Grogan
Eason and those guys. And, and then
and
we had them
What
shitty
was he?
teams at the beginning of the 90s with Rod Russ going 1-15 or something like that. I forget.
and
But,
see they had their people. You know what I mean? Like in other words, they had their fan base. To
right,
bring up another Boston team that sucked for quite a while, the Celtics.
right.
Okay, the Celtics in the mid '90s they were horrid. Okay, but you know what? People loved them. They had the heart of
Because
the
you
city.
couldn't be mad because they had 16 rings. It's like we were due for a spell at some point. You know what I'm saying?
This is true, but let's keep it real. I mean, all of those rings. I mean,
No, I mean you're right.
most of us were not alive. Most of the
Nah, we
fan
were
base
alive.
awards around that time.
Dad was alive.
Yeah, there you go. Like the people were alive to see some of it. All right, but really, the suck years. Okay, let's keep it real. The suck years. That's what we know.
Nah,
Okay,
you're right. You're right. You're right. No,
we
you
know those
absolutely
years of
right.
suck.
But hold on.
And
But back to the Bruins though. You said something that struck me.
oh yeah,
You said you were talking about Ray Bork and like him having to leave to get the title. What was sadder, like from a Boston Bruins standpoint? Like I'd rather like as a Bruin, I'm a very mild Bruins fan. I'm bleed green first. I'm Celtics all the way first.
there you go.
Then my Sox and my Patriots are like 2 and 2A. I can't pick. And the Bruins and the Revs are kind of actually. I'm probably a bigger Revolution fan than a Bruins fan, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
But I love
see, there you
playoff
go.
hockey.
There you
I
go.
love playoff
You're
hockey.
proving
There's
me
no
right, my man.
better.
But yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to me, there's no bigger shift in how the game is played and the speed of the game from regular season to playoffs than in hockey. So whenever the Bruins are in the
100%.
playoffs, I'm all in. I love it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not hating on the Bruins.
This is true. This is true.
yeah.
Yeah, playoff hockey. There's really no other sport like it.
I feel you. It's just the game.
Yeah.
I mean, every sport gets faster in the playoffs, but particularly hockey. But as a Bruins, mild fan, hardcore fan, was there anything sadder than when we held a parade for Ray Bork? For Ray Bork winning the title in the Stanley Cup in Colorado?
Now you're getting to the point as far as why I don't like the Bruins.
Exactly.
Okay?
So,
Now you're understanding me in that case. Okay. The bottom line is there was no pride for the team. Okay, they actually celebrated Ray Bork. I mean, when you think about that, is that any different than Miami putting Michael Jordan's jersey up in the rafters? Okay, it's that ridiculous.
You know what? It's worse because Ray Bork actually played for us. At least Jordan's the GOAT.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. And then in this case now, what they were really celebrating then was they were celebrating Ray Bork being able to actually escape the madness that was the Bruins, okay?
I need all you Bruins fans.
Okay, Ray Bork escaped, and you know what? Ray Bork escaped, and then after that, the fan base said to Ray Bork, you know what? We understand, we love you. You know why? Because they hated the Bruins too. Until they gave you guys a championship, let's just remember, 1 year prior to that championship that you guys won, you guys wanted to run Tim Thomas out of here. Okay, Tim Thomas wasn't even like Tim Thomas was begging for his job. Okay, a year prior to him.
Anyway.
No, that's the funny thing. Exactly. Well,
He won and got run out. Like,
yeah. He was kind of a weirdo. I mean, he had his issues, so he was taken out afterwards. But he's still.
Hold on. I need all my Bruins fans out. Hold on, not to cut you off. I need all my Bruins fans out there to tweet us at JP Lime, at Oddball Magazine, at Around the Bean. I need you guys to tweet us what you think about Rain Man's rant. Rain Man, Mr. Kareem DeRoche, does have a recurring column on Around the Bean, which we also syndicate on the other two websites, jplineproductions.com and oddballmagazine.com. Rain Man's rant. So right now, you rant. Speak on it. Tell me about the Bruins, man.
I mean, seriously, I'm sorry. I mean, listen, I could go on for hours if you really want me to just talk about how funny it was, okay, in the 90s and the 2000s when I was doing my dances every time the Bruins would get knocked out in the first round.
So you're saying Pats fans, Red Sox fans, Celtics fans, loyal, Loyal.
Loyal.
Bruins fans, bandwagoners.
Well, I hate to say it, but at least 75. You know what? You know what? Let me take this back. Okay, I'm gonna be
Put a
kind
number
to
on
you.
it. What's
I'm
the
gonna be
over-under
kind to
on
you.
bandwagon Bruins fans? I can't even say that.
60%. 60%. Okay, and I'm being nice and saying 60%. Okay, 60% are bandwagon fans. Straight up, okay? Straight up, all right? Let's just keep it real, guys, all right? The Red Sox were out. They were doing their thing. The Celtics finally, got themselves a chip in away, doing their thing, all right? The Bruins were the redheaded stepchild of Boston, okay?
The redheaded ginger stepchild?
Oh, my God, they were so ginger. They were so ginger that, I mean, good Lord, okay? They couldn't do anything right. All right. Every time they try to do something right, they would get crapped on by their fan base. Their ticket prices were exorbitant, and nobody wanted to pay. All right. Bottom line is, people hated the Bruins. They hated them, and then they won.
You're right. They hated the ownership. I remember everything was like, "Oh, the ownership never spends the money." Blah blah.
That's right.
Blah.
And you know what?
Yeah,
In all honesty, all right, those fans were absolutely correct, because the ownership was absolutely awful, and those are the fans that I can actually respect. I know tons of them to this day. Those are the ones that call me every single day. Those are the ones who are
there you go.
who I see at my job right now wearing Senators jerseys, just so they can rub it in my face. Even though the Canadians are up 3-1, we're about to finish that off in the Bell Center.
Y'all lost. Y'all lost one.
Yeah, we lost one. Exactly. See, aren't you surprised too? I'm surprised too.
Yeah,
Okay?
well, I mean, I'm hoping the Celtics to pull one out, man. We down 3-0 to the Cavs.
This is true. With the Celtics, man, believe me, they're doing what they can.
This is what I want to hear. Guys, tell me what's going on with these.
Okay, yeah. With the Celtics.
Real quick. Chad, Chris, over under 60% bandwagon Bruin. What was it? Hashtag. I saw a hashtag go up. What was my hashtag?
We were just working on it. Bandwagon Bruins, but Chad was going Bruin wagons. That's kind of good.
Bruin wagons. I like that. I do like that.
I like that. Bruin wagons. Hashtag Bruins, plural wagon. Bruins, or Bruin.
Bruin wagon. Bruin is singular.
Gotcha. Yeah. All right. Bruin wagons. All right. Hashtag Bruin wagon. Over under 60%. How many of y'all are bandwagon?
Oh man!
Of the total population of Bruins fans in the world or listening.
How many they are? Okay.
What's your over under?
So while they're gathering their torches and pitchforks for you, Kareem, let me ask you this. You said that this. You said that this website Around the Bean started as a dialogue, pretty much a dialogue between your friends. How many friends are still writing for it?
Right now, I'd say really out of the group of friends that I was talking about, where it was really initially 6 and then it turned to like 10, I'd say a good 5 of them are contributing from time to time.
Those are pretty damn good odds. I mean, that's a good figure.
Exactly, it's a good figure, and really what it's about is being consistent. That's what we're working on, is making sure that we pump out material and get stuff out there for the masses. You know what I mean? That's what we're working to continue to do. But yeah, I'd say I have about like 5 writers that are ready to go. They post stuff when they can, of course, and I'd say that's the issue. You know what I mean? I hate to blame the fact that they're Bruins fans. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, they are Bruins fans. They are Bruins fans. I don't know if that's why sometimes. I don't know if sometimes that's why they're a little lackadaisical in putting things up.
Would you call them Bruin wagoneers?
Oh, you know what? No. I will give a few of my friends the benefit of the doubt. The reason why I beef with them all the time.
The ones who write for the site.
Yeah, the ones that write for my site. In other words, they are real Bruins fans. And you could tell the difference. Like I can sniff a pink hat. You got pink hat fans, and then you have pink puck fans.
Yeah,
okay?
You're right.
It's as simple as that. I can sniff them out quickly, because the bottom line is, I mean, there's just so many of them. Okay, there's just too many Bruin bandwagon fans. We don't have any of those that write for my site. They know what they're talking about when they speak about sports. So
we are bandwagon free at aroundthebean.com.
Yes, bandwagon free in that case. And really, like, I'd say that would be one of the selling points of it, is that when you do read something on Around the Bean, it's coming directly from the source. They're not trying to push any kind of product. They're not trying to be a troll. They're not trying to do any of that. They're actually speaking from their mind, and these are things that they've been speaking about since they were younger.
That's what's up. So Chris, prof. Over under 60%. You taking the over or the under?
I'm taking the very much under, and this is only as a Bostonian, not even as
Speak on it.
Like I said, I don't like hockey. I'm not a hockey fan, and I'm only a hockey fan during playoffs, and it's only because it's fun to watch. And
it's so tough. It's so tough being a hockey fan.
Chad, what about you? Chad, over under 60%.
I would say over because I don't know.
Yeah, one under, one over. Interesting. Okay.
And I'm not the biggest sports fan, but I came from a big family of. I was there in the bleachers when the Pats were, in the Grogan years and the Mosey Tutupu years.
Yeah. There you go.
And I think it's evened off at least for the Red Sox and the Patriots, but at least they had championships to win, for people to be like, less bandwagony, but oh god,
yeah, I mean, the bandwagoners come out when you get the championships. You got all these people who've never, who don't know who Mosey Tutupu is, or that the Simpsons used him for a joke.
Mosey Tutupu.
Yeah. We got people who don't know that. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, go Patriots, yada yada, Gronk. Like, it's all good. I got love for all my Pats.
Yada yada, Gronk.
Yeah.
I'm hashtagging that right now.
Hey, hashtag yada yada Gronk.
Oh man.
But yeah. I mean, all right. So you know what, Chris, I'm with you though. I want to talk about the Celtics.
Yeah, please.
I want to talk about the Celtics. Now,
there's so much to say.
Let me give you a little scholar rant here. Scholar, aka Ivan, aka De Jesus.
Oh yeah.
Little, my De Jesus rant. This is coming from like my soul.
Let's hear the knowledge. Let's hear it.
El rant de Evan Jesus.
Exactamente, ya tú sabes, mi amigo. For the record, we've got a very multicultural panel tonight. We've got Mr. Kareem DeRoche, African American, Chris and Chad are white, and I'm Puerto Rican.
Excuse me.
Excuse
me. I'm multinational. I'm both French and Canadian.
There you go.
And Kareem DeRoche is Haitian American. Okay.
There you go. Go ahead.
I'm super white.
I was gonna say, and Chris is all that and then some, right? You're a little bit of everything.
I'm like way white. I'm 1600s white. I go back way far.
He actually measured it too. Oh my god.
I've been working on my ancestry. Yeah, I mean, I go back way far.
What's the opposite of mulatto? Like he's like anti-mulatto. He's like white mixed with more white.
White on white.
Exactly.
Super Caucasian. Oh goodness, I'm sorry. I got to learn to mute my mic when I cough. I apologize. But yeah, all right. So
you turned
my
your beatbox
Celtics
off at least. Sorry.
Yeah, well, there you go. I'll do a little beatbox for you in a second. We'll get into that. We're going to talk about athletes who tried to rap and failed miserably in a little bit. But first my Celtics. I really, first of all, it's been a whirlwind of a year. I really didn't want them to trade Rondo, but knew trader Danny would, and agreed with him. Like, he really had no choice. Mm-hmm. And the way the Rondo fiasco has just melted down in Dallas, it's almost like, well, would he have been in a much better position in Boston? Probably not. He's on a good team, and that shit's happening. Mm-hmm. But yeah, and I love Rondo. Like, he's my second favorite, Celtics point guard of all. Actually, no, he's one of my top two Celtic favorite point guards of all time. Favorite Celtic point guards of all time. Didn't want them to trade Rondo. Wanted them to trade Green. Knew they would. Wanted them to, for a while there, I really wanted them to tank again and just get another lottery pick. But then it's just like, they've got so many lottery picks, and even though none of them are like a surefire lottery, top 5 pick or top 3, you never know. Things happen. You know what I'm saying? Injury. Remember the year before the Spurs took off, they finished last because Robinson got hurt. Things happen. You never know. So, one of those teams that has, whose pick we own could have an injured star, and boom, all of a sudden we're in the lottery and we've got a halfway decent team. You never know what can happen. They've increased the odds of something good happening by having so many goddamn lottery picks and assets. Good for them. They're clearing up cap room. Good for them. They can sign people. But then they got good. Then like the Brad Stevens factor kicked in, and I don't want to like overstate it. They didn't get great. They've since February 3rd, I want to say they went 24-12, which was like top 2 or top 3 in the East, top 5 in the league. They were a very good team. Some of those games were late against teams that were resting or didn't have anything to go for. So it's just like you got to factor that into. But they definitely got better once they solidified their roster. After in and around February, early February into early March, Isaiah Thomas, we all know how great he's been. Once they started winning, I'm like, you know what? This team is playing differently. They've got guts. They're gritty. They still take way too many jump shots, way too many three-pointers. They have no interior defense. Their bigs are soft. You know what I mean? They're a flawed team, but they were finding ways to win some games and be competitive in other games. They weren't getting blown out a lot, even against the good teams. So you get behind them as a fan. Again, I bleed green. You get behind them as a fan. You're just like, shit, we're in the playoffs. We can do this, and we're up against LeBron. Some people wanted to play the Hawks. I wanted to play the Cavs because I figured, you know what, the East is going to go through Cleveland for the foreseeable future, so let's get that out of the way now. Let's start that experience of playing against LeBron and co. right now because we're going to need that, once our team does get good. That's the way I saw it. And I just wanted them to win 2 games. That was it. I wanted them to win 2 games. 2 games. Just for a myriad of reasons. But go ahead, Chris.
Well, I mean, how do you feel now that do you think that a young team like this would have done better if they didn't have to hit LeBron and the Cavs first? I mean, or like LeBron and really Kyrie Irving was like.
Yes. Yeah, Kyrie's killing us, and they're hitting so many like. End of the shot clock, end of the quarter, like jump shot, fadeaway threes. That it's killing me. It's like they're shooting well. On top of that, we're playing good defense and they're shooting very well. Hats off to the Cavs. Like everyone knew they were gonna win the series. I still feel that this is better for us, even if we get swept by the Cavs. Like the whole reason I wanted them to win 2 games, best case scenario, at least one, which I still think they can do. I still think they can win 2. I think they can show up for Game 4, play with pride, not get run off the court in Boston, and then go to Cleveland and steal one. I still think they're, if they play the right way, they're good enough to steal one, in Cleveland, and they should be good enough to win one at home, to, not get swept. But I just feel like if they had won a game or 2 against Atlanta, so what? Atlanta, like, I like their team, but they're not going to win a title. They probably won't come out the East. If something happens and, like, LeBron, bumps his ankle in the, last game and can't play, and they do make the finals, you're going to tell me they're going to beat the Spurs or the Golden State Warriors or, anybody out of the West, Houston, the Clippers? Come on.
Well, honestly,
you tell me. Go ahead. Chime in. Tell me.
I must tell you, okay, like a lot of people have said that to me that, they had preferred to get Cleveland versus the Hawks.
Yeah.
One thing I think that people don't understand when they see that is, or when they say that, is that, like, look at who had beaten LeBron previously, okay? It was the San Antonio Spurs. What they were was a complete team. Mm-hmm. A complete team actually runs plays, and they have a bench. And not just that, you know what a complete team does better than most teams? They rebound. They rebound the ball. People are not understanding the fact that the Hawks are one of the better rebounding teams out there.
Yeah.
Okay, compared to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Okay, the Cleveland Cavaliers, you know what they can do?
So they would have swept us too, because like at the end of the day, our Achilles heel is interior defense. If you want to beat the Celtics, all you have to do is drive to the hoop.
That is correct. No, not just that though. You have to understand, okay? One of the reasons that we're getting beat right now, it's not just that the Cavs are driving to the hoop. It's that they're the freaking Cavs. And guess what? Unfortunately,
I'm not even speaking about just the Cavs. I'm like, even in the regular season, a lot of the games I watched, like some of those close games they lost against mid-tier to even bad teams, it was teams with good bigs, halfway decent bigs. They were just driving to the hoop, going down low, and just getting offensive rebounds, and boom. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know why? It's almost the same reason as why you see the Cavs posting up and shooting on us right now. Okay, we're playing good defense.
They're playing good in and out ball.
What general good defense is that you have a man in front of the person. You have a man in front of the ball. You have a man that's contesting the shot. Okay, the difference with the Celtics, unfortunately, and I've told my friends this too, because I have issues with how the team is being built right now, only because, in all honesty, I mean, they are fun to watch, but
Mhm.
let's keep it real. It's a college team, okay?
Yeah.
It's a college team,
Yeah.
and
Well,
guess what
yeah.
a college team does? They shoot
They
they shoot
respond to a
shots.
college coach.
Yes, they respond to a college coach. They keep the pace fast, okay? But guess what? They're not physical at all. Okay? Yes, you
No,
can
they're
put a
not.
hand in
They don't
somebody's
have the
face, but
personnel
are
to
you going to
be
put
physical
somebody
though.
on
Like,
the ground? Okay?
all right.
You need to actually eat fouls. You know what I mean? You need to like the same thing as what you're saying, where people are actually driving in the paint on us all the time.
Yeah.
They're doing
Yeah.
whatever they want to do.
Let me speak
That
on that.
happens
Let me speak
really
on
because they are, you know what I mean, they're young and they're just not physical. I mean, we don't have any bigs.
that.
Our
But
big
that.
is, I mean, Kelly Olynyk
All
is
right.
supposed to be our big show or something like that. You know what I mean? Come on.
No.
Okay, we need people.
No, you're right, and you know what, you and I are making are about to make the same point. They don't have the personnel for it to play
Yes,
that way. But that's my thing. Like, you're calling them a college team. You're right, but they have to be that. That's the
yeah,
only way they can win. The only way they can win is to like get hot from the outside, dribble drive occasionally. I mean, more of those guys got to cut to the hoop. They don't do enough
agree.
cutting to the hoop off of the that perimeter triangle S type offense that they play. You know what I'm saying? Where they
Yeah,
just swing it
more
all
cutting to
around.
the hoop, like somebody
More
who did
cutting to the
that
hoop,
good
and
today was Jared Sullinger. Sullinger came in the game and at least tried to cut in. I
exactly.
mean, he was doing that a good amount today. He at least tried to get something going for them. I
And,
know exactly what you're saying as far as yes, they can't play any other way, so that's what they're trying to do now. But it's just, to me, I thought it was a pipe dream where people were thinking that they were going to try to get 2 games, even 3. I mean,
oh,
of
come
course,
on!
one.
No, I
I
knew
mean,
that.
come on, man. Like the bottom line
Come
is,
on.
listen, I love the Celtics. They're
Yeah,
doing a great job right now. But one other thing that people aren't understanding, when I
but
when
the
I
refs
initially
though.
said,
But the
well,
refs, I
that's
hashtag
right,
Tommy Heinsohn. But the refs
that's
though.
right, that's right, and that's what I'm trying
Come
to
on.
say, yo. With the refs,
Every
man,
single call
they're
they
the
handed.
Cavs.
But
They're the
normally you
Cavs.
extend the series for revenue. You know what I'm saying? Come on, refs.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't even get the home calls tonight. Like, that's ridiculous.
Well, you have to remember,
I
okay, the
do very
entire
much think
NBA.
NBA. I think at the end of the day, talent wins out and the best team always wins. But I
Yeah.
do think the NBA does that shit where they just tell the refs, "All right, let's try to get this to Game 6. We all
Yeah.
know you know what I'm saying? We
No,
all know Shaq and
guaranteed.
Kobe. You know what I mean? Like that type of stuff.
You are
But that's a
absolutely
whole
correct.
nother podcast for a whole nother day. That's a whole nother rant on Around the Bean, no?
Yo, you are absolutely correct, okay, because guaranteed next game, we
Yep.
are actually going to get some calls, okay? What people don't understand is that, remember, we're
It's
still
going back
playing
to
against
Cleveland,
LeBron
right?
James.
It's going back to Cleveland, right? You got to tell me
Yeah,
that it's
yeah,
got to go 5. It's got to go 5. Come on, Kareem. It's
yeah.
got
I
to go
mean,
5.
listen,
Like,
the
I
only
don't
thing
disagree with anything you're saying, but it's got to go 5.
now remember, okay?
2 in a row. How did that
Now,
go?
now listen, okay? Listen, all right? As
Bro,
far as the
hashtag
talent
that
goes,
for me. It's got to go 5 for the next Celtics.
as far as the talent goes, we have the talent to beat them in one game, but you have to
Yeah.
understand, LeBron James is going to get 300 calls every single game.
Yeah, yeah. In the
Okay,
first
LeBron
quarter.
James breathes on you, and it's
Per
a foul.
quarter. Nah,
Okay,
you're right. You're right.
like it's
There
back
it
to
is.
it's
Gotta
back
go
to
5.
the era of breathing fouls. Okay,
Yeah,
LeBron James just has
ridiculous.
to stand on the court, and they will hand him the ball and tell him to go to the line.
These kids
It's
are
simple.
playing their hearts out. And all right, so hold on. So real quick, they have to play that way. They got to play small. Like, I still think they can incorporate a little more pick and roll too. Like, you don't have to be a strong big to run a fucking pick and roll. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but
Sullinger, Olynyk, they like taking jump shots. Roll out and take the fucking jump shot if that's what you're gonna do. But hold on. The reason I wanted them to play the Cavs and have a good showing was because I firmly believe, Trader Danny will strike again. I firmly believe Isaiah Thomas has to go. I wanted all of these guys to have a good showing because you know how it is. You never know what team's going to need a 6-man, a backup guard, someone to plug into the starting lineup, a decent small forward. We got all of that. We got a lot of pieces that good teams need.
well,
The only shining star has been Isaiah Thomas. He's the only one putting up the stats for us to justify asking for a little bit more. And I think that his liability on defense, everybody's saying, oh, he's playing better team defense within the system. He's 5'1". I'm being facetious. He's 5'8". Come on, man. I could post him up. I could post him up and hit a lay and get a hook shot or two. And I'm 5'8 and a half. You know what I'm saying? You got to have the half inch. Come on, not quite 5'9".
I will agree with that, okay, but you know what? Celtics fans should be happy at least for one thing, all right?
Yeah.
Like as far as
I like Zeke. I
as far
like
as having
baby Zeke. I
pieces,
like baby Zeke,
yeah.
but still.
As far as having pieces, as far as having things like that, okay. Like honestly, I think they should keep Thomas only because remember they got him seriously cheap. Okay,
Yeah,
so they're not
yeah,
really
you're right.
paying
He's on
him
a good,
anything.
but
Okay, and on top of that,
that's why I think we can get more for him because he's got a
yeah,
good contract.
yeah, but
What do
honestly,
you
I'm
think? What do you
telling
think
you,
we'll get for him?
yeah, really, that's what I'm saying. What do you think we're gonna get for him?
Well,
He's a
that's the thing. You
straight-A
never know
scorer.
how the market's gonna. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Aside from like that those trade exemptions that we have, like he's like as far as a player, he's our best asset right now. He's the most productive player, most efficient player. He's not even playing a lot of minutes, and he was scoring 19 a game with the
Uh,
with a team friendly contract.
Honestly, you know what? In all honesty, you know who is our best asset, and he better not trade him. If Trader Danny trades him,
Marcus Smart.
I'm gonna drive to his house, okay, and I'm gonna have a talk
You
with
know
him.
where Trader. You know where Trader
Is
Daniel.
Jay Crowder, okay?
No, no, no. I agree with you. But that's the thing. I think they need to keep Crowder and get rid
That's
of
right.
Thomas. They need to
That's right.
sign Crowder long term. They need to put him on like a 4-year deal.
I agree.
You know
I
what I'm
agree
saying?
wholeheartedly.
Get him now while he's cheap because you know he's gonna develop. I think his ceiling is like, I think he can be a borderline all star. I really do
He
think he can be a borderline all star.
a borderline all-star. I
Wait, who's
definitely
this, Crowder?
Yeah, Jay Crowder. I mean, like one thing though that people should be happy about at least, all right. Jared Sullinger is playing well. Now, when I'm saying that we should be happy about that is, listen, they're trading his ass. Okay, he
Yeah.
is gone. He is gone from the Celtics.
Sullinger or
He's out of the
Olenek
Celtics
have
here.
to go, and even though I like Sullinger better, like when he's on the court and just kind of he's the more fun personality to
Yeah.
me. He's kind of fun. He's got to go. Like here's my thing on Sullinger. I've
He's
had
gonna
this
get hurt
rant
again,
before
dude.
too. What'd you say?
He's gonna get hurt again.
Yeah,
Yep.
and that's the thing. He's been hurt significant. He's missed significant time 2 out of the last 3 years.
Yep. Due to
He's not
conditioning.
even 25 yet. What's he? 25?
25, and he already had
Not
conditioning.
even 25 yet, and he's never looked not fat.
Exactly.
He looked less fat than other times, but he's never looked not fat.
Yo,
He's
you're
not even
absolutely
25.
correct.
Yo, he is old on the Rockets, Charles Barkley, except he's 25,
No, you're absolutely correct. And listen, Danny Ainge knows
and he's
it.
not even as skilled as old. On the
Yo,
Rockets,
yo,
Charles
Danny
Barkley.
Ainge knows that shit.
Yeah,
Danny,
he's got.
Danny Ainge knows
He
that shit.
waited
That's the
too
reason
long.
why
He
he's
should have
making
traded
moves. You got to
Sullinger at the beginning of the season, dog. Like when he was like averaging damn near 20 and 9 a game. That's when he should have traded Sullinger.
Hey, well, but
Waited.
that's the thing, though. No, in all honesty,
Who was
nobody
biting?
was biting for him at that
Right.
point in time. All right.
Right.
What
Right.
he's trying to do right now is just throw his ass back out there so that somebody can at least
Yeah,
say,
so he could drop some of that weight.
just so he could drop some away so that we can get rid of his ass. I'm telling you, okay,
Yeah.
either before or on draft day, his ass is gone. Okay, it's as simple as that. Remember, he had a phantom injury that was a phantom fracture that miraculously healed itself. Okay, and then next thing you know, he came back. All right,
Yeah.
that wasn't any mistake. Danny Ainge didn't want to play his ass. Okay, why? Because he wasn't conditioned.
That's
and he was
interesting.
acting up. All right,
That's
the second that that Ainge realized that he needed to actually put him on the court in order to get somebody to trade for him, all right, that's what he did. He threw his ass right back on the court. That's why you're seeing Sullinger in there. Sullinger jumped in today, and guess what he did? He was the one person that was physical, and he immediately picked up 2 fouls, and what happened? His ass was right back on the bench. Okay?
Yeah, you're right.
Why? Because that's what he's there to do right now. Okay, he's there to be a facilitator, and honestly, we don't have any others that can do that, like with their size. Okay, that's the only issue I have with the Celtics right now. Like one thing I've always said to people, that's my issue with Danny Ainge, is that I swear that he's constantly looking for himself in the draft. Okay, he's turned our team into guard city, is what I call it. All right, it's guard city.
Tell me
We got
about
2
it.
guards, we got 3 guards. Okay. We have 3
Hashtag
guards
guard
that are
city.
playing 5, okay? Like that's really what we have running around the place. All right, it's something that annoys me, okay? But I know with Brad Stevens, I mean the beauty of Brad Stevens, he's played more people, okay, than Doc Rivers had in his entire tenure. All right, because Doc Rivers, all right, I
Doc
love Doc
Rivers would
Rivers.
stick to 4 people.
Doc Rivers
Like
had,
on a
yeah,
5-man team, he would stick to
that's
4
right,
people.
that's
It
right,
was the Big
yo.
Four featuring
Yes,
Kendrick Perkins at the
that's what I'm
time,
saying, yo. He would
featuring
have.
like old ass Shaq. It was
It was
yo.
crazy. He would have a
Yeah,
7-man rotation for the entire game.
that's why
Okay.
Blake Griffin's career is gonna be cut short.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Blake Griffin is getting his minutes run down. Okay, Doc Rivers is trying to win within the next 2 seasons so he can leave.
Mhm.
So Blake
They
better
ain't
watch
even
out.
coming out
All
of
of
the
them better
first
watch out.
round this year.
Yeah, it's not looking too good for them. I will tell you that because they will end up having some in beefs, all right, and then that will cause them to implode, especially against the Spurs because the Spurs are a real team. Okay,
Yeah,
like I'm
shout
loving.
outs to the homie, one of the future around the bean contributors, Michael Escobedo. If you're out there listening,
Haha, Esco.
Esco, the homie Esco, who's a big San Antonio Spurs fan. He's from out there. He's from San Antonio, and
Oh man,
he's
yeah.
always talking. He's a type of very annoying sports fan that I'm sure we'll hear from on the tweets, especially Bruins. Hey, again, Bruins fans, bandwagoners. Kareem's calling you out.
I'm calling your ass out. That's
Hit
right.
us up at
So
JP
wrong.
Lime, at Around the Bean, at Oddball Magazine. Let us know what you think. But yeah, he's one of those annoying ass, like, just shove it in your face. My Spurs are better than yours all the time. But you know what? He knows it. He knows his basketball, so I can't even, got nothing bad to say to him about that.
That's right. That's
But
right.
he's
I will
right.
give
Like
him
the
that.
Spurs, I'm sorry. Like to me, the Spurs are going to take the title, barring injuries. The Spurs are going to win this year.
I mean, I will agree with that, but honestly, I will have to see how the Spurs do against some of these Western teams because really,
They're
I
going to
think
win.
the West is
Dude,
the
they
serious
play in
battle.
the West, and when they decided to turn it on at the end of the season, they were coasting. They were coasting in the West with a 6 seed. Think about that, and then maybe a 7 seed, and then they decided to turn it on, and they went like 25-5 at the end of the season, 24-4, something stupid.
I agreed, but in all honesty,
Like
let's keep it
they
real.
were one Anthony Davis showing away from getting the
Uh,
2 seed in the West.
I agree, but you know that they wouldn't have gotten that last win if they didn't, pull a hacker DJ the entire game.
But
You know
that's
what I
the
mean?
thing.
Like,
They got the strategy. Popovich is the best coach in the league, regardless of who wins Coach of the Year. You know what I'm saying?
agreed, but
He's top 3 at worst every year. Every year.
hey, Popovich is the man,
They
and
got
I
the
give you that.
personnel. They got the experience. They rested their
Uh,
guys.
They have rested
man,
their guys.
they're
Popovich is
ready.
the man, but I will say, okay, Golden State this year, all right. Like,
Golden State's not going to beat the Spurs.
listen,
Golden State's not going to beat the Spurs. It's not
but
going to
Golden
happen.
State, but it's not the same Golden State as last year, my man. Okay, you have to remember one difference is Andrew Bogut is healthy. Okay, they actually have bigs this time. It's
The
not.
Spurs beat Golden State twice in the regular season.
What is the regular season, man?
I'm saying
man.
if nothing else, it shows that the Spurs can beat the Warriors. They've won at home, they've won on the road. They're not worried about that. I mean, they're worried about the Warriors. They're gonna go out there and play their A game. But you really think you really think Golden State has enough to beat the Spurs? I mean,
I
they do
think
on paper, they do with the stats and the regular season and stuff. But the Spurs are battle tested, man.
Oh yeah, no, believe me, I am definitely no stat boy. Okay, like I don't do that like where I play the stat game because really it's about what you put on the floor in the playoffs. And one thing I will say about Golden State this year,
Yeah.
the difference from their team this year versus last year. Last year it was just all jump shots and nothing else. This year they actually played defense.
They're nasty.
Okay? They play physical defense and like they play what the Celtics really. If the Celtics play defense the way that they did, all right, then we would already have 2 wins on the Cavs because all we need to do is throw LeBron to the ground a couple times. Okay, they have enough players that can do that right now on Golden State. Not only can they outshoot you, but at the same time they will take it to the rack. Okay, they will get their calls. They do have some stars that will get some star calls, so I mean that works out for them in their favor.
Yeah, I mean Curry's gonna win the MVP. I think Westbrook deserves it, but Curry's gonna win it.
And also here's one key factor. Okay, the question is, do you see Tony Parker dropping 20 plus a game?
I don't think he needs to.
Are you certain of that? Because that's all I'm saying is that, in all honesty, if you want to match the scoring of Golden State,
Pop will figure it out.
okay, well, he's going to have to figure out how to do that and then also
He figured
stop
it
their
out twice
interior
already.
defense.
I'm saying that
Regulars.
technically, this season, Golden State has to figure out how to beat the Spurs. They haven't done it.
Oh, man, regular season, man. It's the regular season.
I'm just saying, that's all we got right now, right? That's all we got to go by. Like,
exactly.
And if we count last season, it's the same deal. Last season's playoffs. I mean,
True,
you're right.
but
They're a different team. They're a different team. But that different team hasn't done it this year.
That's the big difference, though. If you're talking about last season, do remember they lost their big man, okay, before they went into the playoffs, okay.
You're right,
that's a big difference,
especially against the Spurs. Now you're right.
That's all I'm saying. It's like this year, not only do they have their big
what's your
himself,
NBA Finals prediction?
I hate to say it. I mean, really,
give me the team, the winner, and in how many games?
With me, I mean, I hate playing this game of predictions, but if the gun is pointed to my head, which I feel that JP Lime is doing to me right now, okay, I will say,
it's a super soaker full of lime juice. But go ahead.
It's Golden State versus the Cavaliers, unfortunately.
Yep.
And I see Golden State winning in 6.
Spurs over Cleveland in 5.
Wow.
Golden State over Cleveland in 6 to me, only because honestly, I think the Hawks will either the Hawks or the Bulls are going to take the Cavaliers to 7. Okay.
Gotcha.
They'll take the Cavs to 7, but unfortunately, really the same thing that we're suffering from right now.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron James is just going to get all the calls. Okay, like it's as simple as that. Okay, these referees have been told already. Listen, it's LeBron James. Give him the calls. Mm-hmm. They're getting all of the viewership right now, and they're getting crazy ratings. Why? Because LeBron James is playing. Yeah. It's as simple as that, all right?
Yeah, no, you're
right. Like when you were talking about home court advantage,
dude, calls and non-calls.
LeBron James has home court advantage throughout the entire NBA.
Yeah, he does.
Every NBA arena is LeBron James's home court. Why? Because
King James.
Exactly. Icon. Why? Because they love him. Because they need him to advance in the playoffs. Okay, it's as simple as that. They need him to dominate. He's going to get those calls, and everybody around him is going to get those calls. Okay,
he's the guy. He's the guy. He is the John Cena of the NBA. He's the moneymaker.
hey, I mean, I respect John Cena.
John Cena is the LeBron James of the WWE. It's probably a more fair statement. But hey,
I don't know. Cena was around first, right? I suppose technically.
Cena's been
that's
around.
A good question.
No, Cena's been around.
Yeah, Cena's been around.
I mean, they're pretty much like contemporaries.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but you're right. As far as being the guy, it's Cena's been the guy in wrestling for about 10 years.
Yes.
The guy for about 6. So yeah, it's close. It's close.
It's close, but I will say that the difference is like LeBron James really has had it handed to him. Okay, like when I say handed to him. Yeah. The bottom line is, like,
but he's that good, man.
Calls, no, he is. He's that good. But in all honesty, how can you know that if no one can cover him? When I say no one can cover him, meaning that if you do actually cover him, you will get a foul called on you. Okay, if you breathe on the man, it's a foul. All right, like Michael Jordan would have done 360 windmill dunks every time he went down the court if he didn't think that people were going to be slamming him down.
MJ got mad calls though. MJ got mad calls.
MJ got calls.
It's all relative. The game was different then, man. MJ got dude. Don't I?
MJ got calls, but he had.
But I always rooted against MJ. Like after he won in '91, I just wanted someone else to win, and he did not allow it. And I'll give him all the credit in the world. I'll give him all the credit in the world, but homeboy got mad calls.
I will agree he got mad calls.
The game was different, but relatively speaking, I don't think he got more calls percentage-wise than LeBron does.
Oh, no, you're out of your mind, man. You need to look at the percentages, okay? You must have forgot that LeBron James, like, did you recall, like how many times LeBron even fouled out of a game?
The game's different, man.
The game is
How many times do any of the stars foul out these days? Come on.
This is true, but and I will agree with you, okay, that like MJ got mad calls, which is why Scottie Pippen was always one of my favorite people on that team to begin with. But remember, at least with MJ, when he got those calls, he had to sacrifice his body to do it. The same way that Allen Iverson got mad calls and he had to sacrifice his body to do it. Dwayne Wade even, okay, had to sacrifice his body to get calls.
You're right about
Dwayne
that.
Wade got
You're right
crazy
about
calls.
that.
LeBron James gets to stand. LeBron James, who is three times
He
the
gets
size
cramps
of all
during games and stuff.
Yo,
And,
LeBron James, who is three times the size of all of those players that I just named,
yeah.
okay, like if you tap his ass, it's a foul. Okay, I'm sorry, it's just a little different. MJ at least got knocked to the floor, and then he had to get his ass up. He would get the call, but he sacrificed his body. LeBron doesn't even have to do anything, man. He just has to walk around. He's gonna get that call.
So let me ask you this: we know, we know MJ took it from Bird and Magic. We know they took it from Dr. J, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron took it from Kobe. What about Kobe?
Well,
hold on. Before you say anything, what about Kobe?
What about Kobe? I remember this.
Just let this ride. Right now. Oh no. My bad. I need a hook, Kobe. I need a hook. There it is.
I'm gonna have to mute my microphone, man, so I don't laugh too hard on this one, man. This
is the type of mix mastering that has made JP Lime a household name in their own houses.
All right. So for all our listeners out there, that was my very forced segue into our rappers who were athletes, NBA players in particular, who tried rapping and failed miserably.
That was very smooth.
Yeah, I do what I can around these parts. That was Kobe Bryant. The name of that track was Kobe, and that was actually the beautiful, lovely, gorgeous Tyra Banks, supermodel Tyra Banks on the hook. Kobeilloveu at Catera. So Jordan, in Latin the C is always hard.
Oh yeah.
Insert penis joke there. But yeah. But yeah, so Jordan, LeBron in between. You got Kobe. I think Kobe didn't get any calls, to be honest with you. I think the league's always hated on Kobe. But when you make something that terrible, Kobeilloveu, I mean, maybe he deserved it.
Listen. I don't know what you were watching. Kobe got crazy calls, but I will say that Kobe actually worked for his calls. And Kobe, I'm sorry, he was a killer. It's about having a killer instinct. Okay, with Kobe Bryant, if you didn't move out of his way, he's gonna jump on you or over you. Okay, it's as simple as that. All right, and he'll take the call if he has to. That's the difference. I'm not going to keep, bashing LeBron James because really, honestly, I don't hate him as much as I used to. Okay, I'm getting respect for him and all that.
But I hate him every bit as much as I used to.
But Kobe, I will say that Kobe's. Oh, good lord. I will say that Kobe's rap game was horrible. Okay, I'm just leaving it at that as far as his rap game goes. Okay, I can't really break down Kobe's tracks. I'm sorry. I've heard a few of them. And
really?
And I wish, I've heard more than one, and I regret every minute of what I've heard. Okay, there are some rappers that can rap, and then there's some that cannot. Okay, it's as simple as that.
I mean, you're right. There are some rappers who can and can't, and then there are some athletes who shouldn't. Ever.
I agree. Believe me, there's a long list of those. Long list of them. And for some reason, they keep coming out with music. I mean, it's pretty bad.
Hold on. Let me see if you recognize this one.
Productions.com. Rappers suck. It was a great article that actually Ivan wrote, and it actually put into focus that there aren't very many that crossed over well at all.
There's one! There's one, and very well isn't even that crossed over enough for it to be like, all right, well, I trade. You know what I'm saying? Like, I trade my rap career for his. He had a couple of hits. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shaq was the only dude
I will agree.
that was on the mic.
I will agree. Okay, I own a few Shaq albums, and
Thank
people
you.
can talk trash about Shaq all they want. Okay, Shaq actually has skills behind the microphone. Okay,
Shaq got
like
skills.
Shaq actually had some skill and some talent. Okay, like he never said that he was breaking lyrical barriers or anything like that. But I know a few Shaq verses. All right, if anybody knows anything, they will remember one of his tracks that was playing on the radio tons and tons of times. Remember, Outstanding. Okay, I'm
Yes.
outstanding.
Outstanding.
Okay,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was the song. Okay, he had a few tracks that really, really hit. I mean, the dude actually rhymed with Notorious B.I.G. and he did
Thank
it
you. See,
in a
you
very
took
real
it. You
way.
took it from me.
Okay,
You took
with,
it from me. Go
yeah,
ahead. Go ahead.
I took it from you and from your beautiful article, which is on jplineproductions.com.
Thank
Okay,
you. Appreciate
all
that.
right,
Appreciate that.
because Ivan really touches on that, and Ivan is 100% correct on that. Okay, like if you actually pick up that album where he was rapping with Biggie on "You
Yeah,
Can't
with
Stop the
Biggie, you
Rain."
can't stop the rain. That is that,
Okay,
and honestly, that is my favorite Shaq song. Not even because Biggie's on it, because I like that he did two versions. The remix was with Biggie. Shaq was on, just Shaq was on the original. That beat was solid. Like that beat
oh,
was dope.
on that same album, okay, on that
Yeah,
same
yeah,
album, remember he had a track with Mobb Deep, and
yep.
he had a track with
That was that, that no
Rakim.
hooks.
Huh? Oh,
Was that
what?
that no hooks?
No. See, No Hooks was on the album before that. No Hooks was on Shaq
That's
too. That's the
right.
one that he did with RZA and in the fucking
That's
Wu-Tang Clan,
right.
okay? And that's what I'm saying.
That's
That track
right.
was even killer, okay? On the
Mhm.
album where you had You Can't Stop the Rain, you had a track with Mobb Deep, and then you also had a song called Game of Death. Look it up if y'all don't remember it, with Rakim, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Remember that?
hey.
so he got on. So he got on with Mobb Deep legends. He got on with Biggie. Possibly to go and Rakim, another possibly to go.
Exactly. You know what that means is that Shaq not only was somewhat of a skilled person, but he he gave it up to the people before him. In other words, okay, he did his
Yeah.
revisionist history. Okay, he paid respect to the game, and that's the difference with him compared to all these other
Shaq was hip
shitty
hop.
artists.
You right.
Yeah.
Shaq was hip hop. Hold on. Let's give it up for Shaq real quick.
Yep.
Props. I got this
Shaq
album on
knew it.
cassette in my stocking the year it came out. I had to be like, I don't know, 12 years old when it came out. I remember getting that shit on cassette
hmm
Shaq knew he had
with his big
skills.
dumb face on the cover.
Shaq has skills, man. Shaq has skills, and
Yeah,
on top
dog.
of that,
Yeah.
he knew how to actually make a good track. Okay, like even with that song "What's Up, Doc." Okay, like he
Can we
did
rock?
that with Foo Snickens. He did that with Foo Snickens. Okay, he had his quick little verse on it. Like he took his turn. All right, he went last. Okay,
Yeah.
why? Because he was just coming into the game. All right, like Shaq is somebody who can be respected on the microphone. Honestly, since him, I don't know any others. Like Allen Iverson had that one track which Scholar talks about as well inside of his article. All right,
Yeah.
and
I want
even on that
to
track,
get to those guys in a second. I
yeah.
want to get to those guys, but go ahead.
Oh
Go ahead.
yeah, because even with Iverson, all right, Iverson had his quick little track where he's shooting like 58 people,
Yeah.
okay, and doing all that. Like you could tell Iverson at least knew good music, but
Yeah.
he didn't know how
Just
to
couldn't
make
pull
good.
it off. He couldn't pull it
Yeah.
off because he was like Iverson to me sounded like a freestyler. Like let me just go off the top and
Yes.
I'm sure he wrote enough, but he didn't like even his like his writings. I don't think he could make like a cool verse. Really compose a good song. Shaq understood the craft. Like he was old school. Rakim.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, he's about our age. Like he's coming up in the '80s with Kumo and KRS-One. Like nowadays, like these kids, they pick up their phone and just rhyme into it and come up with melodies and hooks and yada yada, and that's how they rap. People don't freaking pick a pen to pad anymore and just go. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. No,
Now
that's
who's showing their age, Ivan? Oh, you kids with your iPhones and your YouTubes and your Google.
old bastard. Exactly.
Well, that's the ironic part about it. Like you're not that much older than I am.
No, but hey,
I am a
doesn't change the
1980
fact.
baby. You are a late 70s baby, give or take. It's but you say some really old shit sometimes.
Yo, it does not change the fact. It doesn't change the fact that you are absolutely correct, though. Okay, this is an era where they are all trying to be like Lil Wayne. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
Lil Wayne just said to himself one day, "Listen, I'm gonna stop writing, and I'm just gonna go off the top," and he can do it. Unfortunately, this whole generation of people that grew up listening to Lil Wayne, they don't understand that they are not Lil Wayne. Okay, you cannot do it. You guys just all want to do it, and you just do it off the top of your head, and that's the reason why none of your rhymes make sense anymore. Okay, you guys just talking about crap. You're talking about,
Exactly.
yeah, I know I sound like I'm 40 years old too.
Yeah,
But okay, I'm
you
not.
kind of sound like the
All right.
old man. You sound like the Chad Parenteau of hip hop,
Oh,
like the elder statesman. But it's cool.
I'll
It's
take it
cool.
as a compliment. I'll take
Did
it
you
as a
did you
compliment.
did you see my link on the group chat, Ivan?
Not
I
yet.
saw
No,
that.
I see a
The
bunch of
sports thing
activity
was
on there.
about.
No, I'm.
I threw my hat for a possible link you may want to share as far as rappers who should not.
All
There
right,
you
no,
go.
all right. Let's get to that. But like what it is Shaq put pen to pad. Shaq
Yep.
put pen to pad, and that's why like he did it better. Like
Yeah, he took his time. He actually made songs. Okay, wrote them down. Took his time.
there it is. That's
You
that
can stop
track.
the rain
That's a
when it starts
fantastic
to
hip
fall.
hop track.
When it starts to fall.
Like you don't have to be a Shaq fan, a Biggie fan to appreciate this beat, this song. Like it's just a dope freaking track. And then Shaquille comes in and says, no matter where you're from, Shaq is not the one you want to mess with. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's
That's
what
right.
it is.
It doesn't get more hip hop than a threat to all the listeners. Okay, that's what you're supposed to do on a song.
He understands the craft, man. He understands the craft. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's old school. Like, you're right. He's talking about how good he is at ball, how good he is at rapping, how much money he got. Obviously, you know what I'm saying? He's rhyming. You know what I mean? He's being hip hop. He's being that fun, I'm better than you, braggadocious type hip hop. And a lot of these guys these days, I mean, and even Allen Iverson when he did it, he just went way too gangster. He went way too gangster. That was like,
Yeah.
Chad, who was your bad rapper? I'm curious.
Oh, you want to check out the link?
I'm queuing up another one, but I'm just
so
curious.
It's so old school. I want it to be a surprise to you, and you'll probably wince because if you were a sports fan in the '80s and you knew who Mosey Tatupu was, then you know what this is going to be. If you want like, a little bit of a semi-spoiler.
All right. I'll get.
But I will say this. The only rap song I heard and I was not impressed by it by Shaq was his biological father. I think it was called "Biologic Didn't Bother."
Yeah,
That
was my father because my biological didn't bother.
That didn't amaze me, but just from what I heard from now, I'm gonna have to explore the Shaq Oofra again, maybe even at Kazan.
Oh yeah. Listen. I will tell you. Okay, like me, like I was a person who really did listen to some Shaq albums. I know all of the good songs. Okay, all of the good ones at least. All right. He had a few throwaway ones. Okay.
Yeah, he had a lot of
Outstanding was
throwaway
the one.
ones.
I say look up Outstanding, look up Game of Death. Okay, that's the one.
Curious about Game of Death, yeah.
Game of Death, that's the one featuring Rakim. Okay, and you know what? The beat was ill, and I tell you what, Shaquille O'Neal actually sounded like he could rap on that. All right, like Shaq always kind of sounded a little weird. You know what I'm saying when he was rapping? It just
Shaq
sounded
sounds
a little
weird
different.
when he's just being, man. He's Shaq.
That's what I'm saying. Like when he's talking, he talks like this. You know what I'm saying? He talks like that.
Yeah.
Okay, he sounds weird. All right, but he held his own. I'm not gonna say he was rapping on Rakim's level, of course. That's Rakim.
No.
But he held his own.
He's tolerable. He's tolerable. He's passable. Like these other guys. I got another bad rapper nominee here. So hold on. Let's take a quick listen. So this is Young Gotti. This is Corrupt. It's like some 90s. And here we go. This is our boy Chris Webber. There you go. There you go. Fetish for letters from the home of J. Rose and Jerome Bettis.
Jerome
There you go.
Bettis.
There you go, Chris.
Definitely an early '90s feel. Yeah.
Yeah, that was it was Corrupt was behind that one, the Dog Pound. That was a Dog Pound, at their death row peak. So you got, you had that G-funk sound to it. So not hating on the beat, not hating on anything Corrupt does. He's one.
Oh,
of the
you can hate.
You don't like Corrupt?
Oh no, hold on. No, I'm not hating.
I'm hating on
Of
C
course
Web.
not.
I'm hating on C Web. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
we got love. We got love. All you NBA players, if you ever happen to listen to this, podcast, we got love for y'all. But we're just saying, some of y'all, like, it's cool that you can pick up a mic because you can, but that doesn't necessarily mean you should. Like, what if you know what I'm saying? Like, what if Rick Ross just showed up to your practice one day?
That would be pretty funny. Okay.
Like with some lemon pepper chicken wings and some pears. Like, what if Rick Ross just showed up?
I heard about that pear shit with him.
He likes pears, man. He shouted out pears in one of his interviews. It was
it's pretty weird. Yeah, I heard about this too. Listen, all right. Well, first off, okay, shout outs to Corrupt. All right, Corrupt is one of the top MCs of all time. All right, people just don't understand it. They don't know it.
Thank you. Preach.
Yeah, seriously. Anybody who knows any music, okay, Corrupt is one of the best ever. But yeah, he knew that he was collecting a paycheck there. Okay.
Oh, of course. I'm not mad at Corrupt.
That makes what that reminds me of. It reminds me of something as old as if you remember this track. There was a track called "In the Game." Okay, with Method Man featuring Ricky Waters. Okay.
Really?
All right. Yes. I wish I had a clip of that to show y'all. Okay, look it up. In the Game. All right, it was off of an album where it was just straight up NFL meets rap. All right, and they all of the rappers that were on the album, they knew they were collecting paychecks. Okay, Corrupt is doing that song in his sleep. I would be surprised if Corrupt was even in the studio when he did that. That
yeah,
track. Right?
I would too.
C-Web, of course, C-Web tried his best. I've always liked Chris Webber, so I can't cap on him too much. I'm glad that was the only song that his ass ever made.
Yeah, I don't think it was, though. I think he might have had. Well, I don't know. You know what? I don't know. Go ahead, Chris. Chris, what you got?
I don't know. But I was trying to look it up from your article. I can't find the article. But no, there's a couple more. He made an album. It just didn't I think it didn't get pushed out. I'm pretty sure that his album never got
well, thank
never
you.
hit the street.
It got somebody said, all right.
This is either his or Kobe's.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna mentally block out what you guys just said, okay? And I'm gonna
we're gonna pretend that was it.
I'm gonna pretend. I'm gonna pretend that was the only song that he ever made, okay? So that I can keep his legend well and good inside of my head, okay? Because I still like it.
Gotcha.
Because that one was awful.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm trying to get the link to chat forwarded over to us, but I'm having some troubles with that. So we'll see if we can make that work. But
I'll try and send it to you through Facebook. Maybe that'll help.
Yeah. If you can Facebook it to me, that'll work out a little better for right now. Because I'm curious. I do want to hear that.
You don't know what it is, do you?
Well, it's not that I don't know what it is. I'm just I'm running the controls on the podcast, and it's hard to multitask because I got three devices going at the same time, pretty much. I'm stuttering now. What's up? I need somebody to help me out, Prof.
What's up, buddy? What can I do for you? How are you?
Take the wheel. Jesus, take the wheel. I'm on Advil.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Oh man.
No, but so we got some bad rappers. We've spoken on bad rappers. We've spoken on we did a little National Poetry Month. We did a lot of Celtics, lots of Bruins bandwagoners. What's on your mind, homie?
My mind?
Yes.
Well, I mean, this week I've been working on Odd Future, so I've been just listening to their albums all week, and that's kind of been stuck in my brain.
Odd Future.
Because Tyler, the Creator, put out an album, and then Earl Sweatshirt put out his a month ago. But there's I don't know. So for those who haven't heard of them, they're a collective from California. Pretty young. I think Tyler's only I think he just turned 24. But
Right.
I don't know. They put out a dozen albums or so over the last. They showed up around 2009, I think, and they've been the biggest thing about them is that they've been one of the they've been a new model for underground rap because they started out on Tumblr. That's where they gave away all their music at the beginning, and then now they're making waves. Tyler's playing at Coachella, and they're actually selling some albums, and he as an entrepreneur is doing all kinds of stuff, including his own music app. So
one thing I heard from or I read that Jazzy Jeff said about them, DJ Jazzy Jeff, is that that they're a model of how you don't need any any major label push behind you to really be successful. Yeah,
they're crazy independent on like every level, like not only just business wise, but as far as brand wise. What it seems like is a bunch of kids having fun, which it is really, but everything that they do is not. It's not like they can. It seems like they can't make any mistakes because they've set it up for themselves. That there are no rules to it, so it doesn't really matter, and everything is cool, and everything like they like being weird. Everything is like he wears a lot of bright colors, and like his brand right now is golf because well I don't know, it's like a weird path to how he got to it, but golf is now all over everything. And he just sells that, like it works. And the video I was watching the other day, so they're doing a pop-up store in London, and his tour manager is talking about it, and they're selling T-shirts $150 a pop. And
right.
He does them all by hand. He did them all. He did like all of them by hand the night before.
Right.
$150 a pop, and they show up and do these pop-up stores and then disappear. And like they had a line around the block of kids in London, coming to see him. And I like them. I would go see them in concert, and I think that they're cool and crazy and
they're fun and they're funny too.
Right yeah, they're fun and like I don't know, and they're really dope. Like Tyler,
they can rap.
And Earl are both really,
I like Tyler. I haven't heard Earl much, but I do like Tyler. I got a lot of Tyler's earlier shit. I haven't. I've
got to hear Earl.
He's
probably the better lyricist. He's probably like. So I don't know. So they're a lot of fun, and there's something interesting as far as this idea of independence now, and what's going to be the new model for what works in the music industry. Because
Tidal's not working, right?
Because we said what?
Because Tidal's not working, right?
Tidal?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tidal is bombing hilariously.
Oh,
I wouldn't say hilariously. But
well, I mean, what it really to me I think depends for Tidal is if they're able to get enough subscribers somehow that they can like it's kind of like a tide, like they can turn the tide on themselves and they can cut themselves off from Spotify because then picture that all the biggest artists who are owners of Tidal aren't available anywhere except on Tidal.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden it's like a commodity, Then it's like where you go to get real music because Spotify and shit doesn't have real music. They have like everything else.
Yeah.
They don't have top 40 music.
But the artists aren't going to do that right away.
Well, not right away. Actually, Jay-Z pulled Reasonable Doubt, I'm pretty sure, from Spotify as like a test kind of deal. But can't do it. But they can't. They logistically and economically, you can't do that. You can't. You're going to stop the biggest growing sector of your music industry. No way is anybody going to take that money out of their own pocket.
Yeah, no, you're right. No, I agree, and I think a lot of people are quick. Like it's been a month since they really launched the thing. 4 to 6 weeks, maybe 2. Like it's still very early on, and what I'm not sure what his or his team's ultimate game plan is. Being Jay-Z and his people. But I think a lot of people are very quick to like bash him. It's like, oh, it's a flop, it's failing. It's like, yo, he bought a freaking streaming service and he's going up against, some of the biggest dogs in, business. Like in that industry, but in business, like Spotify is huge, Pandora is huge. You know what I'm saying? Those are big businesses. Like you got to give it time. I don't know. I mean, I know they're dropping the Beyonce and Jay album exclusively on Tidal. Who knows how much that'll help? I think you're right. I think what needs to happen, or what makes sense, for them to flourish would be if like all these big name artists were exclusive to Tidal. I don't know how they're gonna make that happen.
Yeah. So I don't think they possibly have the pull even for as big as they are. Madonna. Kanye, Jay, like the biggest people in the world. Jack White, fucking, biggest people. So like, it seems to me that's probably what their strategy is long term. But
Right.
you have a lot of work to
They're gonna
get
have some
there.
growing pains. Yeah, they're gonna have some growing
And
pains.
I
But
don't
it's
think
like,
they're going to get through all that. I think that
I
you're not
feel
going to
like
be able to get a big enough subscriber base in order to make that work for yourself. In order to then tip the scales for yourself. I just don't think they're going to be able to do it.
I feel like the media is quick to to just oh, it's a it's a failure. It's a bad idea, terrible. What was he thinking? It's like, give it some time. You know what I'm saying? Like
Well, I mean, I think
a lot of people start off with a lot of businesses start off hurting at the beginning, and everyone else is getting a pass. Like, give us some time. Let Jay do his thing. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
I agree with that, and I
Let's
also
give
agree
it some
that
time.
to me, even beyond, even if it were to fail,
Yep.
it's worthwhile for him to make. I don't know, even if it's $50 million, it's
Hmm.
worthwhile for him to make that statement that we as artists don't want the existing model to be okay, because Spotify is growing huge. Like streaming audio is growing huge, and
Right.
either artists and musicians and the whole music industry is going to decide the new model. That's what we're going
Hmm.
to do now. We're just going to stream audio instead of going to buy it, and
Hmm.
somehow they're going to make money in a different way, or they're going to learn a way to make us pay for it,
Yeah.
rather than getting it for free. Because those are the only two options. And right now, you just have a genie that's out of the bottle, and you don't know. And to me, it's an ethical question, and it's one that's worthwhile. But I don't know how to make it economical. Like it's worthwhile to say, hey, people should deserve to get paid for their art. And right now we're getting paid, 0.005 cents on the dollar for every time you listen to my song, whereas before, 15 years ago, every time you listen to a song, you had to pay me $15 to go get my album.
Yeah.
Uh,
No, I hear
so
you.
it's a whole different world. So it's worthwhile to say, people deserve to get paid for their art. But how do you then say, all right, you should pay people for their
How do
art?
you make it work? Yeah.
Yeah, come pay me when you don't have to.
Kareem, I heard
Yeah.
you grunting. What was up with that?
Uh, I mean, well, honestly, I just I do agree with some points that you guys are saying about the Spotify movement, but it's well, I mean, I say Spotify versus Tidal.
Right. Right. Right.
Um, I do have issues though, like technically with Jay-Z's business model. In all honesty, as far as how he's done it, like
Hmm.
you have to remember, like Jay-Z, like of course, when he was president of Def Jam, I mean, he didn't really have any pull there. That was just kind of a figurehead job.
Figurehead. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, he actually did have a chance to put money back inside of artists' pockets
Hmm.
when he did Rock Nation. Okay,
Hmm.
and when he was signing people.
Mm.
If you notice, most of the artists that he actually owes money right now,
Yeah.
those are the ones that are backing Tidal, and
Mm.
those are also the ones that are kind of mad the Title's not taking off. Like
Yeah.
the thing is just
That's
like Jay,
interesting. Yeah.
yeah, like Jay Z, like of course, like I hate to get all crazy and political on anybody, but it's like
Yeah, go for it.
Jay Z had a chance to change things because he actually became the figurehead that was paying the artist.
Right.
And
Right. Right.
rather than paying his artists, what he did is he screwed them. Okay,
Yeah.
like he pretty much turned into a puffy and signed
Yeah.
people to shit deals.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and he took their money,
Yeah.
and it's just funny that he then turned around and he bought a streaming service now.
On the guise of, hey, we're gonna pay artists more royalties because they deserve it, and the music.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now
Yeah. No,
all
I
of
hear
a
you.
sudden you're saying that they deserve it, and then remember, like, yeah, now all of a sudden he wants to pay these artists, right?
Yeah.
And he's going to do it with the help of other billion-dollar artists. Okay, why?
Hmm.
So that this way it's not too much money out of his pocket, and this way, if it fails, he doesn't lose too much money. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's what's going on right now.
That's
He
interesting.
he, he did come out with like what he's doing. In other words, like as far as changing the game and
Yeah.
changing how an artist gets paid, I really do see that as admirable. Okay,
Yeah.
but at the same time, the
Question the
business
motive.
model itself wasn't really good. It just
Gotcha.
wasn't a good business model to begin with because, yeah, you're trying to cut into the market of a Spotify that's giving people music for free. Like me being a Napster person myself, okay,
Yeah.
and of course the same way that Professor just stated, okay,
Yeah.
it is a dichotomy where you think about an artist and how they deserve to get paid. Like I'm an artist myself. Okay, I put out music before. All
Hmm.
right, like I want to get paid for my music. There was a
Hmm.
point in time where, like, yeah, if I did do a show, if I did put something out, same as what Professor was saying. Okay,
Hmm.
there was a point in time where I'm giving you that CD, you had to put $5 in my pocket.
Mhm.
Okay, like that's a whole different story versus me releasing it on the internet and getting point zero 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 zero
Yeah,
five
just
percent.
cents on
Okay,
the dollar
or
there.
cents on the dollar. Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
I do agree with that, but there needs to be a hard line set as far as who is charging the artist.
yeah.
And the issue that I don't like about Tidal is that Jay-Z's kind of masking who's getting that money, okay? And he's also masking why it is there to begin with, okay? It's there to begin with because people like your label have screwed their artists. You know what I mean? It's as simple like the thing I don't
It's
like is
the Rock.
like good example, okay, when they actually came out with the inaugural uh, their inaugural setup of Tidal where everybody
Yeah.
came out in the line.
Yeah.
All right, I would have actually liked it better if Jay-Z didn't put himself out there with those artists, okay? Because you can't put yourself out there with those artists if you owe half of them money. Okay, you owe half of them money, and that's why they're out there now, so that they can get their money back from you. It's well known that Rihanna hates his ass, okay?
Yeah.
And Rihanna is signed to his label, and like honestly, people say that song "Bitch Better Have My Money." That's for Jay-Z.
That's funny.
Jay-Z owes her money, man.
That's funny.
Jay-Z owes
Which
her
she
money.
put out on Tidal.
That's right, exactly. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny, man? Bitch better have my money. Baby, what you owe me? Okay,
I
she's
thought
talking.
her jumping on Jimmy Kimmel's bed, waking him up
Yep.
in the middle of the night was funny, but yeah.
That was hilarious, okay?
That
But
was
she's talking to Jay-Z. Jay-Z owes her fucking money, and she wants her goddamn money. So doesn't Kanye. Kanye wants his money. Okay, a lot like Jay-Z owes a lot of people money. It's like honestly, this is not an attack on Jay-Z, but it's just it seemed kind of snakish the way he came out with it. Like he's trying to save the artist. No, you're not, man. You owe motherfuckers money, man. You're trying to pay them back. That's what you're trying to do because you screwed them because you became the label and you did business like a label.
All salient points. All salient points. Well, check it out. The homie Professor Chris. He wrote a very in-depth article about about the launch of Tidal. Not too far back. What, a few weeks ago, Chris?
Yeah. It must have been just about a month ago now. I mean, yeah,
And
probably
where
2
can we
weeks.
find that article?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Let me pull it up real quick, and I'll tell you in 20 seconds. At jplinproductions.com /
There you go. We'll send out the.
You meant more in general.
Wait.
You can find it at jplinproductions.com.
That's what I'm looking for.
Things hip hop, lime, sports, poetry, culture, arts, entertainment. We do it all. We do a little bit of everything. That's what we try to do with the JPL magazine. jplinproductions.com, your one-stop shop for all things live.
There you go. That's what I was. Thank you. That was good. I like that.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, there you go. You've got the voice for it.
It goes well with the hat.
Yeah. So we did a lot tonight. We spoke some National Poetry Month, some hot spots to go to before the International Poetry Month. Chad was very informative to that end. We did a lot of sports, a lot of Bruins, lots of Celtics, a little bit of hip hop at the end there. Some rappers who can't rap, and actually I was able to. It's the Super Bowl Shuffle. There we go.
You know.
There it is. These are the 1986 Chicago Bears who kicked the Patriots' ass in the Super Bowl that year. A lot to a little, I believe, was the score. Yeah.
Yeah.
They deserve that song. I'll tell you that. Bastards.
Oh, now there we. I think you know what, Chad? You win. They win. The 1986 Chicago Bears win our contest tonight that we just made up for the worst example or the best example of athletes who tried rapping and failed terribly, miserably. Fill in the superlative.
Landslide victory right there, man. You got that one.
That was great. No, this
All right, refrigerator Perry.
Yeah, no, the fridge was awesome. Although I never agreed with Ditka not giving Walter Payton the ball for the touchdown. That was a little bit ridiculous, but Walter deserved his Super Bowl touchdown. But anyway, it would have come against our Patriots, so why am I really lobbying for that? It's been a great show tonight, fellas. And Cyber World, everybody out there on the internet. Kareem DeRoche was our special guest tonight. www.aroundthebean.com. Sports themed website. We will definitely send out all pertinent links. When we put the information out there and syndicate it. www.jp. What'd you say?
Sorry, I just meant to say. I just said I'm looking at the site right now, Around the Bean, and it's a good-looking site. And I have to say I love the old school Patriots symbol for Rainman's Rant. My dad, when he was alive, he was old school logo almost to the end. Like he would go into bars like with his old insignia.
Throwbacks, man. They hate us because they hate us.
There you go.
That's right.
Hashtag TV.
Well done.
So it's been a great show, everybody. AroundTheBean.com, JPLineProductions.com, OddballMagazine.com. We'll be back shortly for another podcast. I'm sure next time. Well, I'm not sure next time if Jason will be joining us, Jason Wright, but hopefully he will.
Oh.
And Kareem, thank you for being with us tonight. Hey, welcome back. Feel free to, or I should say, feel free to come back anytime. You're welcome in any other podcast.
Definitely, man. It was a great night. Okay, thank you everybody for having me. Okay, it was a good conversation.
Awesome. And unless anyone else has anything else to say, we're gonna go ahead and call it a night.
All right.
Going once, going twice, and that's what it's gonna be. Good night, everybody. It's been fun.